we didn't, the people are complaining about this. I'll say this. They didn't hesitate one time to send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, but they're complaining about $1.5 billion for this. It doesn't make sense to me. This is all personal towards President Trump. I don't think they have anything to do with this other than a lot of them just don't like President Trump. They don't like the way he's governing. They don't like the way he's attacking some of the senators that have been there for a long time, some of the friends in there. But you can't make it personal. We better go back to work and get this done because the American people are counting on us.
Donald Trump is just doing what he want to do, man. Like he doesn't care at all, right? So now he formed this Anti-Weaponization Act, this $1.8 billion in funding, right, to fund people who, this fund was created to compensate people who they said was wrongly targeted, right, through politics, right? They had political investigations. Now remember, they put Trump's taxes and all this kind of stuff, out to the public. Right now, he sued for billions of dollars. He settled out, and now he want to take that money, that 1.8 billion, and divvy it up to the people. He said those January 6th rioters and all the people that during the Democrats administration say that they were harassed. Right, they lost jobs, they lost wages. So that's what he was saying. But there's a lot of there's some Democrats that's against. I mean, there's some Republicans that are against this. Tom Scozzi and Brian Fitzpatrick. Right, they're trying. You have Democrats and Republicans that's moving to block this. They're upset. Now you have some Republicans that are saying this is just like giving foreign aid. Y'all bipartisan with giving foreign aid. We want to take care of our people. Boyce Watkins, he has an opinion towards the Democrats, and it's funny how whenever you have people like us that's always voted Democrats have a difference of opinions of the Democratic strategy, all of a sudden it's like y'all are a gang. All of a sudden, we the enemies, we Republicans, we supporting W supremacy, as if Democrats aren't part of W supremacy as well. So it's y'all way of thinking is the reason why we need to have a new voice. Y'all way of thinking is the reason why we're in this situation in the first place, right? But let's look at some of the stupid stuff that Roland Martin, has said over the time. Remember, he's not a black news station; he's a Democratic news station.
And if you didn't want to fight, then goddamn it, leave. Let somebody else in that position. Because what we are talking about is a battle that's generational. What we are talking about right now, go to my iPad, the United States Supreme Court is going to reconsider the congressional district in Louisiana, and they literally are going to rule against race-based congressional districts. And I need all of y'all to understand that what is on the ballot is they could wipe out with one goddamn ruling more than 30 black congressional seats. That means right now the Congressional Black Caucus is the largest caucus in the United States Congress, and this Supreme Court could literally wipe out half of the damn Congressional Black Caucus.
And see, the Congressional Black Caucus they haven't done anything for black communities. Black communities are suffering. Black communities are disappearing. There will be, by 2040, there will be no black Cleveland. There will be no black Philadelphia. Is getting smaller and smaller, right? By the year, right? We already seen what they did to black Brooklyn. So what is he talking about? It's been a colossal failure. And the thing is, who gets the blame for this? Now the thing is, when we have the Voting Rights Act of 65, you guys saw this coming. You already saw what they was trying to do with the Shelby case. You already understood that. You already understood it. But when you had the House and Senate, you didn't get anything passed. And when there was ties or the Republicans was trying to block it, you could have been told the NAACP to tell the players 13 years ago, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, you could have told those players, hey, we're not going to SEC schools. We're not going to Pac-10 schools. We're not going to Big Ten schools. We're not doing none of that. We're not even playing the NFL. We're shutting this down because you're not going to fight to destroy our representation, but while we sitting here making y'all billions of dollars. We just not doing it. We stepping down because we are the economy. Had you did this 15 years ago, it would have had more energy behind it. You guys knew that this is what they was trying to do, and you prioritize other things over it. So a lot of y'all that like to leave comments in my comment section, I'm not your enemy. I'm not a dummy. I'm not a W supremacist. I don't support them. You guys need to be out the way, because there needs to be a new voice, a younger voice. You guys are the reason why this is happening in the first place. You guys are the reason why they have W's being parts of some of the largest black districts in the South. You got white folks that's been running them for 10, 15, 20 years. Right? But when a black man like me say something, all of a sudden I'm ignorant. All of a sudden I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the problem, right? But Boyce Watkins, he also spoke on this, and he said this.
This is a president who is taking care of his friends. He's taking care of his voters. He's taking care of his allies. So my question is, why are your friends not taking care of their allies, taking care of their voters? Nobody supports the Democratic Party more than black people do, so we should be taken care of first. So the question is, why haven't we been taken care of first? See, I want you to understand the reason I can't get on board with the political lack of logic that exists in America sometimes. It doesn't make sense to me, because if you're furious and you're asking Trump to give you something that your allies won't give you, you're asking a person you did not vote for. In fact, most of y'all didn't vote for Trump. Let's just keep it real. Most black people do not vote Republican. Politicians are supposed to take care of their constituents first. The people that got them elected first, the people that gave them support first. It's like if I go to a job and I say, hey, I need you to pay me. And they say, well, do you work here? And I say, no, I don't work here, but I want you to pay me like I'm an employee. Yeah, did you put any time in? Did you do a contract with us? Did you help us out in any way? No, I ain't never showed up to work. I work down the street. And then what do you think they're going to say? And then I turn to say, well, but you still owe me, you need to give me a paycheck. What do you think they're going to say? Like, let's live in the world of common sense for a minute. Y'all might not like what I'm saying, but you can't really argue too much with it, because I really want to ask you. So what would they say? They probably say, well, sir, we're sorry, but you don't work here. You go to your boss, talk to the people that you're serving, talk to the company that you're actually doing labor for. And according to our records, they owe you $18,497. And you turn around and you say, yeah, but they're not giving me anything. So I need you to pay me because they won't pay me. Do you understand can you at least, you ain't got to agree with me, but can y'all at least hear what I'm saying when I'm sort of trying to speak from a position of common sense and logic here? I know logic is not the same as emotions. I know that we get emotional and people start to yelling and crying and everything. That's why I get in trouble. I'm a mathematician. In the world of mathematics, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. In the world of emotion, 1 + 1 is supposed to equal negative 5,422. I can't live in that world. My brain's not able to go there with you. Now, I'm not here to try to convince you that Trump's a great guy. I'm not here to try to tell you who to vote for. Give me a yes if you understand that. I have to repeat myself on that because when I challenge black ideas, first thing people do is they start getting emotional and calling you a Republican. Oh, you're a sellout. You're Uncle Tom. No, actually, sir, if you're not asking for anything in return for what you're giving your political party, you, sir, are the sellout. You're the sellout. I'm rolling with Malcolm X on this, and Malcolm agreed with me. That you're the sellout if you think there's something wrong with asking for something in return for what you're giving. You are the sellout when you don't believe quid pro quo applies to black people. You're the sellout when you can explain and justify, and it makes sense to you when Trump is going to go out of his way to pay off his allies, but your buddies in the Democratic Party won't do the same.
So these Democrats, they hear us online every day bringing the smoke and calling them out, right? And I keep asking, who falls on the sword for this? Who's at fault for this happening, right? Somebody has to be at fault. It can't be just, well, we just talking too much, or these Republicans are just so racist. And how come there was no provision set in place to prevent this from happening, huh? A lot of y'all leaving comments in my comment section. Answer that question. What was the Democrats doing, right, at the time that this was being prepared? They wasn't blindsided by this. A lot of you people that don't like me making these kind of videos, that call me a Republican or say I'm siding with white supremacy, answer the question. If not, shut your mouth. Answer the question. Who falls on the sword for this? Who's at fault for this, right? Because you got Kamala Harris all of a sudden saying this.
The last point I would say on this, Rev, and I think I know it's a bit controversial, but here's how I feel about this. You know how I was talking earlier about how people are so transactional? I think we need to be transactional voters. I think, yes, it is right when we are trying to get folks to register to vote and to go vote, and it is absolutely right that we remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it. We remind people of the lives, the bloodshed on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the sacrifice of those young people at the lunch counter, the assassination of Dr. King. There are so many things that we must remember about history so that what compels us to vote includes not only our civic duty, but honoring the ancestors. Yes.
Remember when she said, I'm not going to do nothing specifically for black people? Remember she said that? Now all of a sudden she changing her tune. But then you had Roland Martin when we was calling this stuff out, right? Because most of us, we never voted Republican, but we was calling out the Democratic strategy. Roland Martin was being a pit bull coming after us.
Interesting to me, Greg, when I listen to these, when some folks have sent me some stuff, you got these loudmouth fools who love running their mouths, to about, he'll alpha, he'll represent all alphas. Of course I don't, fool. I represent my damn self. But here's what I do know. What I do know is, and again, I just get a kick out of these FBA, these freedmen, these ADOS people who love running their mouths and who want to trash Democrats. Oh, and let's be real clear. I've been highly critical of Democrats on this show, so I don't know what meth y'all smoking. But here's what I do know. I got some common damn sense. And here's what I know. This is some basic ass political common sense. It's going to be, except in the California governor's race, where it's a jungle primary and the top two winners advance to the general. And if some of them Democrats don't drop out, it could be a Republican who ends up being governor. It's two parties in this country. It's going to be a Democrat. It's going to be a Republican. And here's what I know. If the Republicans control the Senate and control the House, they can pass any law they want to, and Trump can sign it. If the Democrats win more House seats, the Democrats become in control. I don't give a shit if y'all don't like Hakeem Jeffries. I really don't care. Because guess what? If the Democrats win 218 seats, then they gonna have a vote amongst themselves as to who the next Speaker of the House should be. So I ain't even having that conversation. I'm talking about stopping MAGA. So if that means that I want more Democrats to win House seats, you goddamn right I do. Because I need evil to be stopped. And that means that more Democrats win Senate seats, that stops them from being in control.
See, the problem that I have with him when he makes a statement, he wants evil to be stopped, as if evil is not bipartisan, as if evil is just on the radical right and not on the radical left. Evil is there as well, right? And we can see what they was doing in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in New York City, bringing these immigrants in. When you had the black residents crying, saying, please don't do this, please. Why these buildings have been dilapidated? You said that you didn't have funds. All of a sudden, you got funds down to refurbish these buildings and put immigrants in, right? You're creating a larger voting block. You're bringing in millions of them, right? Joe Biden warned by 2040 what this country would be, and then he went, and then when he went and did the work to bring them in, so that way they could have their numbers up. So you tell me what's evil. You had certain people in schools talking to children, right? When we said don't. Right? So there's evil on both sides. They was even starting to confuse what a biological woman is. And you want to talk about certain things was evil? Now those people, they have a right to live their lives, right? But when you start infringing on the rights of biological women, that's not evil, right? So my pushback ain't for just the regular person as part of the LGBT community. I'm talking about the agenda, not the person. They have rights too. Right? But when you start infringing on the rights of biological women, on what was going on during that administration, that wasn't evil, right? When you had women afraid because you had men, biological men and women's sports. There's a whole bunch of things that went on that's been on both sides, right? But see, if you say something, if you speak up and say something, you are the problem. How? How are we the problem? So all of a sudden, we don't have a voice unless we're agreeing with you guys. But this is why Boyce Watkins just destroyed Roland Martin's whole talking points. Check this out.
So Trump is paying reparations to his people. I've heard people bring up this point, including D.L. Hughley, who called me on the phone oddly enough and just cussed me out because I'm not going to just do what I'm told like he says that I should do. I have no idea why he was so mad at me. But either way, though, DL made a very good point. DL says that Trump should, that he should consider the fact that black people should be first in line to receive reparations for what's been done to us by the government. Well, here's where he's 100% correct. Yeah, black people deserve reparations. We've been talking about this for a long time. Dr. Claude Anderson brought this up over 30 years ago. Malcolm X brought it up. People brought this up for a very long time. So the question you should probably ask is, why now? Why is suddenly the talk of black reparations becoming an issue now that we've got a president in office who is not interested in giving black people reparations? Here's the thing. The reparations conversation should have been brought up when you had people in office that you actually put in office. What Trump is doing, and I'm not blaming him, Trump is going to be Trumping. He's taking care of the people that gave him power. He's taking care of his friends. He's taking care of his allies. Now, here's the deal. This is what people don't want to talk about, is if the Democratic Party had also taken care of their greatest ally, which is the black community, Trump never would have been in office. If you remember, when Obama was elected, the Democrats had extraordinary support from the black community. There wasn't a black person within a 100-mile radius who wasn't all for Team Obama. So the question is, what happened? Well, you neglected the black community. You took their vote for granted. You acted like we are supposed to do what we're told and expect nothing in return. And so a lot of people simply said, hey, I'm going to do what's best for me. Since you're taking care of you, I'm going to go take care of me. So that means I'm not going to be voting for you. So then Trump gets elected, and then suddenly, for whatever reason, instead of looking in the mirror and saying, I wonder why they didn't support us, maybe we didn't do what we should have done, they turned and they wanted to attack black people. They made things worse by blaming black men this, black men that. And the thing is, you got to understand about the black male is that there are real men in the community who don't give a damn what you think. You can talk crazy about us all day if you want to. You can make things up. You can throw around lies and call us names, but we don't care.
That's the thing. That's the thing. When Bill Clinton was in office, when Joe Biden was in office, right? So when Obama was in office, they didn't sign executive orders. They didn't put the black clergy. These black districts didn't push the line. They didn't go hard for reparations. They didn't threaten to mess up the economic purse strings. They didn't do none of those things. What they asking these black boys to do now because of redistricting, they didn't use their power or exercise their power and go all out in order to get reparations where there could be some form of recompense. They didn't do it. There was no executive order signed on behalf of reparations by any of those presidents that we put in office. None of them. None of them. So Boyce Watkins is absolutely correct. He's absolutely right. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. What's your opinion on this, man? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.